In a distant corner of the galaxy, a small human colony thrived on a planet they called New Eden. The people of New Eden worked tirelessly to build a new life for themselves, far away from the conflicts and troubles of their ancestral home, Earth. They were a peaceful and hardworking people, dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge and the betterment of their society. However, the humans of New Eden were not alone in the galaxy. There were other, far more advanced civilizations out there, known collectively as the Galactic Empires. These empires had been around for millennia, and they looked upon the humans with a mix of curiosity and disdain. To them, the humans were primitive, backward creatures, barely worth acknowledging. The Galactic Empires had technology that was far beyond anything the humans could imagine. They had ships that could travel faster than light, weapons that could destroy entire planets, and armies that numbered in the billions. The humans, by comparison, had only recently developed the technology to travel between the stars, and their weapons were laughably primitive compared to those of the Galactic Empires. Despite this, the humans of New Eden refused to be intimidated. They knew that they had something the Galactic Empires did not: ingenuity, determination, and a fierce desire to survive. They worked tirelessly to improve their technology, studying the advanced civilizations from afar and trying to reverse engineer their achievements. One area in which the humans excelled was in the field of theoretical physics. Their scientists had long been fascinated by the idea of higher dimensions, and they had made great strides in understanding the nature of the universe. They believed that by harnessing the power of these higher dimensions, they could achieve things that were once thought impossible. For years, the human scientists worked in secret, developing a new kind of technology that they hoped would change the balance of power in the galaxy. They called it the seventh dimension drive, and it was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen before. The seventh dimension drive worked by tapping into the power of a higher dimension, one that was normally inaccessible to three-dimensional beings like humans. By doing so, it allowed a ship to bypass the normal rules of space and time, traveling vast distances in the blink of an eye, and even passing through solid matter, as if it weren't there. The humans knew that the seventh dimension drive was their greatest hope for survival in a galaxy that was increasingly hostile to their kind. They worked tirelessly to perfect the technology, testing it in secret and refining it until they were sure it was ready. Finally, after years of hard work and sacrifice, the humans were ready to unveil their creation to the galaxy. They had built a ship unlike any other, one that was powered by the seventh dimension drive, and capable of feats that had once been thought impossible. The ship was christened the ESS Prometheus, and it was a marvel of human ingenuity. It was sleek and powerful, with advanced weapons and defenses that were designed to protect it from any threat. But its true power lay in its ability to travel through the seventh dimension, to go where no human had gone before. As the Prometheus prepared for its maiden voyage, the humans of New Eden held their breath. They knew that this was a moment that would change the course of their history, and perhaps the history of the entire galaxy. They had worked so hard for this moment, and now it was finally here. Little did they know that the Galactic Empires were watching them, and that they too had taken notice of the humans' strange new ship. They had no idea of the true power that lay within the Prometheus, but they were about to find out. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy, and the humans of New Eden would be at the center of it all. As the ESS Prometheus prepared for its maiden voyage, the human scientists who had created the seventh dimension drive worked tirelessly to ensure that everything was in order. They checked and rechecked every system, running countless simulations to make sure that the ship would perform as expected. At the heart of the Prometheus was the seventh dimension drive itself, a marvel of human ingenuity and engineering. It was a complex piece of technology, consisting of a series of interconnected chambers and conduits that harnessed the power of the higher dimensions. When activated, it would create a field around the ship that would allow it to slip through the fabric of space-time itself, bypassing the normal rules of physics. The scientists had spent years perfecting the seventh dimension drive, testing it in secret and refining it until they were sure it was ready. They had faced countless challenges and setbacks along the way, but they had never lost sight of their ultimate goal: to create a technology that would change the balance of power in the galaxy and ensure the survival of the human race. As the final preparations were made, the crew of the Prometheus gathered for a briefing. They were the best and brightest that New Eden had to offer, each one handpicked for their skills and expertise. There were pilots, engineers, scientists, and soldiers, all united in their determination to see the mission through to the end. The captain of the Prometheus, a tall, broad-shouldered man named James Hawkins, stood before the assembled crew. He was a veteran of countless missions, a man who had faced danger and adversity countless times before. But even he could not hide the excitement and anticipation that he felt at this moment. "Today," he said, his voice ringing out clear and strong, "we embark on a journey that will change the course of human history. We have created a technology that will allow us to travel to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, to explore new worlds, and make contact with civilizations that we can only imagine. But more than that, we have created a technology that will ensure the survival of our species, no matter what challenges we may face in the future." The crew listened in rapt attention, hanging on every word. They knew that they were part of something special, something that would be remembered for generations to come. As the captain finished his speech, the crew dispersed to their stations, each one ready to play their part in the mission. The engineers made their final checks on the seventh dimension drive, ensuring that it was functioning at peak efficiency. The pilots plotted their course, taking into account the complex gravitational fields and spatial anomalies that they would encounter along the way. And the scientists prepared their instruments, ready to gather data and make new discoveries that would push the boundaries of human knowledge. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. The Prometheus lifted off from the surface of New Eden, its engines roaring as it climbed into the sky. As it reached the edge of the planet's atmosphere, the seventh dimension drive engaged, creating a shimmering field of energy around the ship. For a moment, everything seemed to pause, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Then, with a flash of light and a surge of power, the Prometheus vanished, slipping through the fabric of space-time and into the seventh dimension. The crew watched in awe as the stars around them shifted and distorted, their light bending in strange and unexpected ways. They could feel the power of the seventh dimension drive coursing through the ship, propelling them forward at speeds that defied comprehension. And as they traveled deeper into the unknown, the crew of the Prometheus knew that they were making history. They were the first humans to venture into the seventh dimension, the first to harness its incredible power. And they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their determination to see their mission through to the end. As the ESS Prometheus journeyed through the vast expanse of the seventh dimension, the galactic empires took notice of the strange new ship that had appeared on their sensors. At first, they dismissed it as a mere curiosity, a primitive vessel from a backwater civilization that posed no threat to their dominance. But as the Prometheus continued its journey, the galactic empires began to realize that there was more to this ship than met the eye. Their sensors detected strange energy readings emanating from the vessel, readings that defied explanation and challenged their understanding of the universe. The leaders of the galactic empires convened in secret, discussing the potential threat posed by this new human technology. They had long viewed the humans as a primitive and insignificant species, one that could be easily crushed if the need arose. But now, they were beginning to wonder if they had underestimated the humans' ingenuity and determination. As the galactic empires debated their next move, the crew of the Prometheus continued their mission, unaware of the growing concern their presence was causing. They marveled at the strange and wondrous sights they encountered in the seventh dimension, the swirling vortexes of energy, and the shimmering fields of exotic matter. But even as they explored this new realm, the crew of the Prometheus knew that they had to remain vigilant. They had no way of knowing how the galactic empires would react to their presence, or what kind of weapons and defenses they might possess. Captain James Hawkins ordered the crew to maintain a constant state of readiness, preparing for any potential threats that might arise. The soldiers on board the Prometheus trained tirelessly, honing their skills and practicing their tactics in the ship's advanced combat simulators. Meanwhile, the scientists on board the Prometheus worked to unlock the secrets of the seventh dimension, studying the strange phenomena they encountered and seeking ways to harness its incredible power. They knew that the technology they had created was only the beginning, and that there was still so much more to discover and explore. As the Prometheus continued its journey, the galactic empires made their move. They dispatched a fleet of their most advanced warships to intercept the human vessel, determined to put an end to this upstart civilization once and for all. The crew of the Prometheus detected the approaching fleet on their long-range sensors and immediately sprang into action. Captain Hawkins ordered the ship to red alert, and the soldiers and pilots prepared for battle. As the Galactic Empire fleet closed in, the Prometheus engaged its seventh dimension drive, slipping through the fabric of space-time and emerging behind the enemy ships. The Galactic Empire fleet, caught off guard by the sudden maneuver, scrambled to regroup and engage the human vessel. But the Prometheus was ready for them. Its advanced weapon systems locked onto the enemy ships, and with a burst of incredible power, the human vessel unleashed a barrage of seventh-dimensional energy beams that tore through the Galactic Empire fleet like a hot knife through butter. The Galactic Empire ships, their shields and hulls no match for the incredible power of the seventh dimension, exploded in brilliant flashes of light, their crew and weapons reduced to nothing more than scattered atoms in the void of space. As the last of the enemy ships was destroyed, the crew of the Prometheus cheered in triumph. They had proven that human ingenuity and determination could overcome even the most advanced and powerful civilizations in the galaxy. But even as they celebrated their victory, Captain Hawkins knew that this was only the beginning. The galactic empires would not take this defeat lightly, and would undoubtedly be back with even greater force. The crew of the Prometheus knew that they had to be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. They had unleashed the true power of their seventh dimension ship, and now the galaxy would never be the same. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: the humans of New Eden would never back down, no matter what the odds. They would fight for their survival, and for the future of their species, no matter what the cost. The galactic empires were in a state of shock and disbelief after their devastating defeat at the hands of the humans and their seventh dimension ship, the ESS Prometheus. The once mighty civilizations had been humbled by a species they had long considered inferior, and they were forced to confront the reality that their dominance of the galaxy was no longer assured. As the leaders of the galactic empires gathered to discuss their next move, they were faced with a difficult choice. They could either admit defeat and seek a peaceful resolution with the humans, or they could double down on their aggression and launch an all-out war against the upstart civilization. Many of the galactic empire's leaders favored the latter option, believing that they could still crush the humans with their superior numbers and technology. They argued that the defeat at the hands of the Prometheus was a fluke, and that the humans would quickly be overwhelmed if the full might of the galactic empires was brought to bear against them. But others among the leaders urged caution, pointing out that the humans had already demonstrated a level of technological advancement that was far beyond anything the galactic empires had encountered before. They argued that a war with the humans could be costly and prolonged, and that it was better to seek a diplomatic solution while they still had the chance. As the debate raged on, the crew of the Prometheus continued their mission of exploration and discovery in the seventh dimension. They had already made incredible breakthroughs in their understanding of the universe, and they knew that there was still so much more to learn. But even as they pushed the boundaries of human knowledge, the crew of the Prometheus remained vigilant, knowing that the galactic empires could strike at any moment. They continued to train and prepare for battle, honing their skills and refining their tactics in anticipation of the next confrontation. As the tension between the humans and the galactic empires continued to mount, the crew of the Prometheus made a startling discovery. They had been exploring a remote region of the seventh dimension when they stumbled upon a strange anomaly, a rift in the fabric of space-time that seemed to lead to another universe entirely. The scientists on board the Prometheus were fascinated by the discovery, and they immediately set to work studying the anomaly in greater detail. They found that the rift was incredibly stable, and that it seemed to be a gateway to a parallel universe that was similar to their own in many ways, but with subtle differences. As the crew of the Prometheus debated whether to explore the parallel universe further, they received an urgent message from New Eden. The galactic empires had launched a massive invasion fleet, and they were headed straight for the human colony. Captain Hawkins knew that the Prometheus was the only ship capable of stopping the invasion, and he immediately ordered the crew to set a course for New Eden. As they raced back through the seventh dimension, the crew of the Prometheus prepared for the battle of their lives. When they arrived at New Eden, they found the planet under siege, with the Galactic Empire fleet bombarding the human settlements from orbit. The Prometheus immediately engaged the enemy ships, using its advanced weapons and seventh dimension technology to devastating effect. The battle raged for hours, with the Prometheus and the human fleet fighting valiantly against the overwhelming odds. But in the end, the humans emerged victorious, thanks in large part to the incredible power of the seventh dimension ship. As the Galactic Empire fleet retreated in disarray, the humans of New Eden celebrated their victory. They knew that they had struck a blow against the galactic empires that would never be forgotten, and that they had proven once and for all that they were a force to be reckoned with. But even as they savored their triumph, the crew of the Prometheus knew that their mission was far from over. With the discovery of the parallel universe and the ongoing threat of the galactic empires, they knew that there were still many challenges and adventures that lay ahead, but they were ready to face whatever the future might bring. Armed with the power of the seventh dimension and the unbreakable spirit of the human race. In the aftermath of the battle for New Eden, the galactic empires were forced to confront the reality of their defeat. The once mighty civilizations had been humbled by the humans and their incredible seventh dimension technology, and they knew that they could no longer afford to underestimate the upstart species. As the leaders of the galactic empires gathered to discuss their next move, they were faced with a choice. They could either continue their war against the humans, risking further defeats and the possible collapse of their own civilizations, or they could seek a diplomatic solution and try to find a way to coexist with the humans in the galaxy. Many of the galactic empire's leaders were reluctant to consider the latter option, believing that it would be a sign of weakness to negotiate with a species they had once considered inferior. But others among them argued that the time for pride and arrogance had passed, and that the only way forward was to find a way to live in peace with the humans. As the debate raged on, the crew of the Prometheus received a surprising communication from one of the galactic empires. The message was from a high-ranking official who claimed to represent a faction within the empire that was willing to negotiate a truce with the humans. Captain Hawkins was initially skeptical of the offer, knowing that it could be a trap designed to lure the Prometheus into a vulnerable position. But after careful consideration and consultation with his crew, he decided to take the risk and meet with the Galactic Empire representative. The meeting took place on a neutral planet, with both sides agreeing to come unarmed and with only a small delegation. As Captain Hawkins and his team arrived at the designated location, they were greeted by a group of Galactic Empire officials who seemed genuinely interested in finding a way to end the conflict. Over the course of several hours, the two sides engaged in intense negotiations, with each making concessions and compromises in order to find a way forward. The humans agreed to share their seventh dimension technology with the Galactic Empires, while the empires promised to recognize the sovereignty of New Eden and to engage in peaceful trade and diplomacy with the human civilization. As the negotiations continued, however, Captain Hawkins began to sense that something was amiss. He noticed that some of the Galactic Empire officials seemed to be exchanging furtive glances and whispered conversations, and he couldn't shake the feeling that they were hiding something. Just as he was about to voice his concerns, all hell broke loose. A group of Galactic Empire soldiers burst into the room, weapons drawn, and demanded that the humans surrender immediately. Captain Hawkins and his team quickly realized that they had been betrayed, and that the negotiations had been nothing more than a ruse to get them to let their guard down. In the chaos that followed, Captain Hawkins and his team managed to fight their way out of the building and back to their shuttle. As they took off, they were pursued by a group of Galactic Empire fighter ships, which seemed determined to shoot them down before they could escape. But the humans had one last trick up their sleeve. Using the seventh dimension technology on board the Prometheus, they were able to create a wormhole that allowed them to jump instantly back to New Eden, leaving their pursuers far behind. As they emerged from the wormhole, the crew of the Prometheus were greeted by cheers and celebrations from the people of New Eden. They had once again proven their courage and resourcefulness in the face of overwhelming odds, and had struck another blow against the Galactic Empires. But even as they savored their victory, Captain Hawkins knew that the war was far from over. The Galactic Empires had shown their true colors, and it was clear that they would stop at nothing to destroy the humans and their seventh dimension technology. As he looked out at the stars, Captain Hawkins knew that the future was uncertain, but he also knew that the humans would never stop fighting for their right to exist and to explore the wonders of the universe. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, armed with the power of the seventh dimension and the indomitable spirit of the human race. In the wake of the betrayal by the Galactic Empires, the humans of New Eden knew that they had to act fast. The Prometheus had barely escaped the ambush, and it was clear that the Galactic Empires were not interested in any kind of peaceful resolution. Captain Hawkins and his crew immediately began preparing for another confrontation. They knew that the Galactic Empires would not take their defeat lightly, and that they would be back with even greater force. The humans had to be ready for anything. As the Prometheus underwent repairs and upgrades, the scientists on board worked tirelessly to unlock even more secrets of the seventh dimension. They knew that their technology was the key to their survival, and that they had to continue pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Meanwhile, the people of New Eden rallied behind their heroes. They knew that the crew of the Prometheus represented the best and brightest of their civilization, and that they were the only ones who could stand against the might of the Galactic Empires. As the days turned into weeks, the humans waited anxiously for the next attack. They knew that it was only a matter of time before the Galactic Empires struck again, and they had to be ready. Finally, the day came. A massive fleet of Galactic Empire ships appeared on the edge of New Eden's system, their weapons charged and ready for battle. The humans knew that this was it, the moment of truth. As the Prometheus led the charge against the Galactic Empire fleet, the humans fought with everything they had. They knew that the fate of their civilization rested on the outcome of this battle, and they were determined to emerge victorious. The battle raged for hours, with both sides taking heavy losses. The Galactic Empire's ships were more numerous and more heavily armed, but the humans had the advantage of the seventh dimension technology. They were able to outmaneuver and outflank the enemy ships, striking at their weak points with devastating accuracy. As the battle wore on, it became clear that the humans were gaining the upper hand. The Galactic Empire ships were being picked off one by one, their hulls shattered, and their crews scattered into the void of space. But just as victory seemed within reach, the humans received a shocking transmission from New Eden. The Galactic Empires had launched a surprise attack on the planet's surface, and the human settlements were being overrun. Captain Hawkins knew that he had to make a choice. He could either continue the battle against the Galactic Empire fleet, or he could rush back to New Eden to defend his people. In the end, there was no choice at all. The Prometheus broke off from the battle and raced back to New Eden, its engines straining to the limit. When they arrived, they found the planet in chaos, with Galactic Empire troops swarming over the surface and human defenders fighting desperately to hold them back. The Prometheus immediately joined the fray, its seventh dimension weapons tearing through the enemy ranks like a hot knife through butter. The human defenders rallied around their flagship, their spirits lifted by the sight of the mighty vessel and its crew. Together, the humans and the Prometheus fought like demons, pushing the Galactic Empire troops back inch by bloody inch. It was a battle that would be remembered for generations, a testament to the courage and determination of the human spirit. In the end, the humans emerged victorious, but at a terrible cost. Many brave men and women had given their lives in defense of their homes and their people, and the scars of the battle would linger for years to come. As the people of New Eden began the long process of rebuilding, Captain Hawkins and his crew knew that their mission was far from over. The galactic empires had been beaten back, but they would not stay down forever. The humans had to be ready for the next attack, and the one after that. But for now, they could take a moment to savor their victory. They had shown the galaxy that the humans were not to be underestimated, and that they would fight to the last breath to defend their way of life. The road ahead would be long and hard, but with the power of the seventh dimension and the unbreakable spirit of the human race, anything was possible. In the aftermath of the battle for New Eden, the galactic empires were forced to confront the reality of their situation. They had thrown everything they had at the humans, and still they had been defeated. The once mighty civilizations were now faced with a choice: continue the war and risk total annihilation, or seek a peaceful resolution with the humans. As the leaders of the galactic empires debated their options, they received a surprising communication from the humans. It was a message from Captain Hawkins himself, offering a chance for peace and cooperation between the two civilizations. At first, many of the galactic empire's leaders were skeptical of the offer. They had been fighting the humans for so long that the idea of peace seemed almost impossible. But as they considered the alternatives, they began to see the wisdom in Captain Hawkins' words. The humans had proven themselves to be a formidable adversary, with technology and tactics that the galactic empires had never encountered before. If the war continued, there was no guarantee that the galactic empires would emerge victorious, and even if they did, the cost would be unimaginable. And so, after much deliberation and negotiation, the galactic empires agreed to a truce with the humans. The two civilizations would cease all hostilities and work together to build a new future for the galaxy. As the news of the truce spread throughout the galaxy, the people of New Eden rejoiced. They had fought long and hard for their survival, and now they could finally breathe a sigh of relief. The threat of the galactic empires had been lifted, and a new era of peace and prosperity was on the horizon. For Captain Hawkins and his crew, the truce was a vindication of everything they had fought for. They had risked their lives to defend their people and their way of life, and now their sacrifices had been rewarded. As the Prometheus returned to New Eden, the crew was greeted as heroes. The people of the planet lined the streets to cheer and celebrate their saviors, and the name of the Prometheus and its crew became legend. In the weeks and months that followed, the humans and the galactic empires began the long process of rebuilding and reconciliation. There were still many challenges to overcome and old wounds that needed to be healed. But with the power of the seventh dimension technology and the determination of both civilizations, anything was possible. As Captain Hawkins looked out over the stars, he knew that the future was bright. The humans had proven themselves to be a force to be reckoned with, and now they had the chance to take their place among the great civilizations of the galaxy. And he knew that none of it would have been possible without the Prometheus and its crew. They had been the ones to unlock the secrets of the seventh dimension, and to use that power to defend their people and their way of life. As he thought back on all that they had been through, Captain Hawkins couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. They had started out as a small, insignificant species on the edge of the galaxy, but now they had become something much greater. They were the guardians of the seventh dimension, the defenders of humanity, and the pioneers of a new era of peace and prosperity. And as long as the Prometheus and its crew were there to protect them, the humans knew that they could face any challenge that the universe could throw at them. And so, as the Prometheus set out on its next mission, the people of New Eden looked to the future with hope and optimism. They had come so far, and they knew that there was still so much more to discover and explore. With the power of the seventh dimension and the courage of the human spirit, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The galactic empires had once mocked them, but now they knew the truth. The humans were not to be underestimated, and they would never back down from a fight. They were the masters of their own destiny, and they would shape the future of the galaxy in their own image. And the Prometheus would be there every step of the way, leading the charge into the unknown. In the years that followed the truce between the humans and the galactic empires, the galaxy underwent a profound transformation. The once warring civilizations began to work together, sharing knowledge and resources in a spirit of cooperation and mutual benefit. At the heart of this transformation was the seventh dimension technology, which had been the key to the humans' victory over the galactic empires. With the help of the Prometheus and its crew, the humans began to share this technology with their former adversaries, using it to solve problems and advance the cause of peace and progress. As the benefits of the seventh dimension technology became more widely known, other civilizations began to take notice. They saw the incredible advances that the humans and the galactic empires were making, and they wanted to be a part of it. Soon, representatives from civilizations across the galaxy began to arrive on New Eden, seeking to learn more about the seventh dimension technology and to forge new alliances with the humans and the galactic empires. Captain Hawkins and his crew found themselves at the center of this new era of galactic diplomacy. They were the ones who had first unlocked the secrets of the seventh dimension, and they were the ones who had used that power to bring about a new era of peace and cooperation. As the Prometheus traveled from one corner of the galaxy to another, Captain Hawkins and his crew worked tirelessly to build bridges between civilizations and to promote the values of unity and harmony. They helped to establish new trade routes and cultural exchange programs, bringing the diverse peoples of the galaxy closer together than ever before. They also worked to address the many challenges that faced the galaxy, from environmental disasters to economic instability. Through it all, the humans remained at the forefront of this new era of galactic cooperation. They had proven themselves to be not just a formidable military power, but also a force for peace and progress. As the years turned into decades, the galaxy began to transform in ways that no one could have predicted. New technologies and new ways of thinking emerged, and old barriers and prejudices began to fall away. The humans found themselves at the center of a thriving galactic community, one that valued diversity, innovation, and collaboration above all else. They had come so far from their humble beginnings on the edge of the galaxy, and they had accomplished so much. But even as they celebrated their many achievements, Captain Hawkins and his crew knew that their work was far from over. There were still many challenges to be faced and many frontiers to be explored. And so, as the Prometheus set out on its next mission, the people of New Eden and the galaxy as a whole looked to the future with a sense of hope and determination. They knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but they also knew that they had the power to shape their own destiny. With the seventh dimension technology at their fingertips and the courage and ingenuity of the human spirit to guide them, there was no limit to what they could achieve. They had already accomplished so much, but they knew that their greatest adventures were still ahead of them. As Captain Hawkins looked out at the stars, he felt a sense of pride and gratitude wash over him. He knew that he and his crew had played a small but important role in the transformation of the galaxy, and he knew that their legacy would live on long after they were gone. And so, with a sense of purpose and determination, the Prometheus and its crew set out once again into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges and opportunities the future might hold. They were the pioneers of a new era, the guardians of peace and progress, and the masters of the seventh dimension. And they would never stop exploring, never stop learning, and never stop striving for a better tomorrow.